Prove therapist is not a harmless profession. To break a dungeon clearance record twice in a row. To prepare for the upcoming Rift Assault. I plan to go to the dungeon and level up to level back. See I in the previous life. During this assault, just as I was about to leave, I received a message from Huki. Experimental school wanted to meet me, so I agreed to go to the meeting place. Arrived a professional. I saw a familiar figure wave at me. Boss. Soon I walked over. Huki immediately introduced me. Beside him was Principal Lu of the experimental school. I nodded calmly and said, Principal. Fell on one beside Lu Yunqing, but be a bit surprised. Hello, didn't expect to see you again so soon. With a smile. Qiyu blinked, awkward expression. She didn't expect at the stall earlier, who insisted on buying the Staff of Fury despite her advice, was actually the famous Chen Mu. You say so, but be pleasantly surprised. Not. Just met. I responded. Lu Yunqing couldn't help but be a bit puzzled, but didn't dwell on it, and directly said, You should know why I'm looking for you, right? I won't beat around the bush. I can offer you a 1 million scholarship, transfer to the experimental school. I calmly refused. Do you have any condition? Tell me, maybe I can adjust the amount. Lu Yunqing spoke again and said, is out of the question, but I can lead your students. Break the history of any dungeon below there. With the first SSS rating, the cost of this is to have my teacher Chen Dashing teach your school. After hearing my conditions, Lu Yunqing clearly showed a displeased expression. With the first SS rating, is that a bit too much to say? How can I have the confidence to say such things? Nah, take my leave now. I saw Lu Yunqing's expression, and Prob knew what he was thinking, didn't bother explain, and just turned and left, had a falling out after just a few words. And others were looking at each other in confusion. Principal Lu, he was a bit embarrassed. He did his help in arranging me, and in such an unpleasant way. No need to waste. You all go do what you need to do. Lu Yunqing casually instructed Huki and the others, and then turned and left. Huki and the other two decided to apologize to me. Iron Fart. And was soon caught up by the three of them. I stopped at the three awkward faces. It's my fault for calling you over. Huki apologized somewhat sheepishly. It's okay, I said very calmly. So, wasn't affected by this matter. Did a sigh of relief, as agreed yesterday. We each bear the cost of one sheep puppet. I'm transferring you. Huki said again, and Li Feng also followed suit. I refused. Received a total sent by you and from Huki and the others. Boss, which den are you planning to go today? Hook asked again. Hearing Hook's inquiry, I thought for a moment. Soon I thought of a very suitable dungeon. To go to the black market mine. Hook and Joshua couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed that I was in the black market mine and the others left. They couldn't go to a level dungeon. In another room, Grandpa was short a level or healer. Maybe I should just go to a level dungeon today. Qiyu said to Lu Yunqing. Aside from this time, pretend anymore? She directly called Lu Yunqing Grandpa. How could I let you suffer this grievance? Shan City. Is there only Chenmo as a level or healer? Lu Yunqing snorted. Fortunately, he had a backup plan. I was at the profession square, and then contacted Billy. We formed a team. Then we arranged to meet at a corner of the square. I was still responsible for recruiting team members. Your requirements, the recruitment information has been posted. Ba Ling said, okay, then just choose 3 suitable ones. I responded. Has changed to no profession restriction. Then A-level talent holders pay E-Buy. That's level talent above are free. Others pay E-Million. My recruitment information came out and immediately attracted a lot of attention. Million, I have the money. Girls to team up and go home would be more fun. Level talents cost E-Buy. So confident. At first, many people were eager to try. But after see, the con of the den was running this time. They couldn't help but stop signing up. The recruitment noticed by Ling said, "Now had over 10,000, but there were very few actual sign-ups." Then she said somewhat frustrated, "Should we change the dungeon? It's not that no one signed up. We can also find Hook. Anyway, we're just finding a few people to herd sheep." I said, "Call." Bylin was also somewhat amused. And on the profession square, Qiyu's team had already set off for the blackout, watching his granddaughter lead a few team members disappear for his eye. Yunqing couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. A Cecil and a rare profession. The members are not bad there. Level evaluation might be difficult, but SS should be achievable. He muttered to himself. He heard a discussion not far away, but could raise his eyebrows in surprise. We were discussing those exactly the things about my recruitment. Who didn't help but smile. The next could also choose a black market mine. I want to see. Qualification be so arrogant. Bai Ling looked at me somewhat troubled. So far, Chenmo. Only 2 were suitable. I looked at time and simply said, "It's okay. Let him come over. We'll get ready and set off." Bai Ling nodded. Okay. Right now. I finding Hook to make up the numbers, but then found that this guy had already entered the dungeon. I could only give up. Soon, the 2 who signed up arrived. One was a boy named Dong, a fighter with an A-level talent. And another girl named Insinmi, who is less level high in talent. Is a rare profession. A level or a master. Power is not high. And there's another person. We'll just be the 4 of us, right? And Dong looked around, some suspicion. For enough. If you feel it's dangerous, you can leave the team now, I said indifferently. However, Dong just thought for a moment, and then said, "No problem. Let's go." He only hoped that I really had a way to lead them. Should objection there be only 4 people of the team, and expressed no opinion. So we set up. A prompt appeared before all the professionals in the square. Chenmo's team in the black market mine. This news really stunned all the professionals in the square. They were also stunned, especially when they saw the team composition. They were completely crazy. As a light flashed, our group, on a barren, rocky mountain, the black market mine looked at the distance. It's some fear. How do we start? And Zimming asked with a carefree look, "Violate me at this moment." I understood. Nearly slapped the space bat. Instantly 10 round white objects appeared on the ground. The sound of sheep was incessant. This scene directly stunned Han-Dong. He saw clearly were definitely the sheep puppets. Used as targets for students in school. What are these sheep puppets for? Amused and annoyed. Facing Donkey Fusion, I remained silent. Raised the staff in my hand.
With a clip.
10 sheep puppets, all lit up with a glow. Soul Link. Han-Dong noticed it immediately and checked it right away. And then showed a look of surprise. Actually allowed damage to be diverted to teammate. Han-Dong immediately felt that this was a sure thing. "Let's go," I said, and also got excited at this moment. Upon hearing my command, he took the lead and walked forward. Bowling followed closely behind for watching the sheep.
Don't be out of it.
The spiked order to burn the monsters. I said in Zimming, and Jimin widened her eyes and said, "Tracking monsters." "It's fine, we can handle it," I said calmly and confidently, and Zimming nodded instructions. But after aura was activated, I immediately widened my eyes, because I had forgotten something very important, which was in Zimming's talent. The moment Zimming's aura was activated, the monsters in 100 meters were alarmed and directly locked on our team's location, and immediately charged us, and Dong couldn't help but be startled. "See, I told you to track the surrounding monsters." Was also scared when she saw this. She had made a mistake. The fidgeting.
I will speed.
It's not so. I was careless, usually an aura master, only about 10 meters. That definitely wouldn't reach in Simma's Lily by meters. If I could get her talent, I could also extremely terrify in spell range. "You afraid, go, I'm here!" I was extremely excited. I shouted, and upon hearing this, Han-Dong quickly entered combat mode in the group of monsters. Damage furiously. Then Battling followed closely and also charged him. The sheep puppet took the diverted damage. It couldn't help but bleed. I felt like there was a bunch of aunties arguing around me.
We'll go back.
I will have the puppet shop owner upgrade these sheep.
Meanwhile,
I also raced as I started casting healing spells. Lit up rhythmically on the 4 of them. The last kobold digger fell. Han-Dong looked around in disbelief. Monster corpses were scattered all over the ground, and the look he gave me filled with absolute respect. The black market mine process is a bit long. Let's try to finish it quickly. I gave another order. Should I turn off my aura? Or switch? And Zimming asked somewhat shyly. "No need, it's fine. It's very convenient." Should I just stop and Zimming from turning off the monitoring aura? And Zimming immediately nodded repeatedly like a pecking chicken. They finally pushed forward. That, mine entrance was clearly different from the others. "We need to go into this mine," I said, looking at the mine in front of me. "But there's nothing in here, right?" Han-Dong hesitantly said. I read a guide. That said if you want to get an SS rating, you have to go in here. I said, looking at Han-Dong. Alright, Han-Dong's eyes lit up. If it's really related to getting an SS rating, Lily has no objection. The 3 of them followed me into the mine, under my lead. Everyone arrived in an open area. Here, there was a rusty lever. This Han-Dong was curious. He wavered, wanting to see if he could push it. But even with all his strength, he couldn't move the lever an inch. I was about to step forward, but I stopped. I walked forward, and with a slight effort, pushed the lever up. Han-Dong was dumbfounded. He couldn't understand at all how a healer like me could have higher strength than a fighter. Push it. Casually clapped my hands. Actually, to push this lever, you don't need any fancy. You just need a strength attribute of eBat points. Han-Dong couldn't push the lever, which is completely normal. Because for a professional Han-Dong's level, the strength attribute at level war is in most war points. It's impossible to push the lever. I didn't explain anything. I led the team out of the mine, towards the mountaintop. After leaving the first undead mine, was extremely fat. After finishing another battle, panting as he looked at the monster corpses around him, his face fast as his previous speed in clearing normal level dungeon. "You all rest here for a bit. I'll go into that mine and come out soon." I walked forward. By my words, the other 3 agreed. Then I arrived at a stone church. Here, there was a large horn. Took a deep breath and blew the horn. Outside, Han and the others were startled by the sound. "It's the horn. The little horn inside." Ling explained. Recruiting team members. She also at the time reviewed the black market mine strategy. She knew what each of the 3 undead mine pits contained. I emerged again with a relaxed demeanor. This horn was clearly different from the previous lever. With agility attributed by EBOT points to be able to look. We continued forward.
After about an hour,
We finally arrived in front of the last undead mine pit. Battling and Dong and Zimming considerately stopped. They let me along, and I walked in with tacit understanding through the path. I finally found a bonfire, pieces of rubble scattered by. I walked over, picked up the rubble, and struck them together. The collision caused sparks to fly from the rubble, directly ignited the bonfire.
that's the same.
The entire black market mine shook violently. A terrifying roar came from the mountainside. Inside the mine pit, I looked, and silently, success's smile finally appeared on my face. What needed to be done was to defeat the released hidden boss, conquer black market mine. Achieve this, let's level to clear.